It's Dr. YouTube. How you doing? Dr. YouTube Timothy Tucker. Listen to this, guys.
And let's look at the United States briefly. According to the EPA, since 1980, carbon monoxide is down 84%. Ozone is down 33%. Lead is down 92%. And sulfur dioxide is down 81%.
Is that true, guys?
Cleaner air is it's much cleaner now than when I was a boy, for example. Okay. There's just something icky about fossil fuels, some might think. It can't be moral to use them, can it? Well, it can, and to answer that question, we have with us today Alex Epstein, the president and the founder of the Center for Industrial Progress. Alex has debated some of the biggest names on the environmental left. His writings have been published in the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Investors Business Daily, and dozens of other publications. He's a Duke graduate, and he's the author of today's book, The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alex Epstein.
Hey everyone, I recognize some of you. So I had an experience about 5 years ago that I think really captures the way we're taught to think about fossil fuels. And actually what's wrong with, in my view, not just the way that the left thinks of fossil fuels, but often the right thinks of fossil fuels. So I'm from Southern California. I grew up in this area, but the climate out there is just amazing. So I moved there about 10 years ago for work, and I haven't been able to leave. And about 5 years ago, I was in Irvine, California, Orange County, at a farmer's market for lunch. And as sometimes happens, there was a Greenpeace booth outside the farmer's market. And this girl comes up to me. I'm, what am I now, 34, so I must have been 28, 29 at the time. Looked fairly young, and said, "You're an environmentalist, right? And don't you want to help us get off our addiction to fossil fuels and transition to clean, renewable energy?" And I'm just thinking, she really does not know what's going to happen in terms of what my view is. And I said, well, no, actually, I really like fossil fuels. I think what the fossil fuel industry does is great overall, and I think that the world would be better if we used more fossil fuels. So think to yourself, what is she thinking? What is she going to say? That's what I was wondering. And the reason why I raised it that way, and that is my view that we should use more fossil fuels, is I wanted her to bring up one of the common objections. So, for example, catastrophic climate change, catastrophic pollution, catastrophic resource depletion. And I wanted to show her that there's actually a different way of thinking about these things, where the fact that something is a challenge doesn't mean that it's a catastrophe. And that if you look at the big picture, the full context, these things, insofar as there are challenges, are far, far outweighed by the benefits human beings get. But unfortunately, she didn't ask about any of those things. And she didn't even get mad at me. She did something that at the time took me aback. And that was, she looked at me almost in awe. And I thought, what is going to happen? It can't really be awe, right? And I realized later it was as if an alien creature, she was talking to an alien creature. She looks at me after I say I think we should use more fossil fuels. She says, "Wow, you must make a lot of money." So, which was, by the way, definitely not the case. Certainly not. I don't even think I knew anyone in the fossil fuel industry at the time. It certainly wasn't making a lot of money from anyone. And I had the same experience this morning, in fact. I was on Bloomberg, and I decided, I'm not going to wear my usual costume, which is this. Which, by the way, I wore to the People's Climate March recently in New York City, if you want to check it out on YouTube. But that was actually less dramatic than the 3 foot by 3 foot I Love Fossil Fuels sign that I was carrying. So those are fun things. YouTube.com/Improve the Planet. You can check it out. But anyway, I was just wearing this little pin. And the host, or I don't know if it's hostess, but the woman host, looks at my pin. And she says, what does that pin say? It says, "I love fossil fuels." And she's taken aback a little bit. And she said, "Well, do you love fossil fuels, or do you just love the oil industry's money?" So again, you must be paid off. I said, no, I just love fossil fuels. Nobody's paying. So why this story is so significant to me? Because it really captures what I think are the three different moral views of fossil fuels. So, and the one that we should use more, which I'll talk about last, is viewed as so out of bounds that you can't honestly hold it. But my view is that if we actually think about these issues logically, it's the only one that makes sense. So one of the conventional views is what I call the unnecessary evil view. So fossil fuels are an addiction, they're evil, they're destroying the planet, and fortunately, we have all of these promising renewable technologies to replace them. Everyone familiar with this view? The idea is we need to get off fossil fuels, and we can get off them quickly. Now, the response to that too often, particularly by the energy industry or the fossil fuel industry, is to say, well, no, they're not an unnecessary evil, they're a necessary evil. No, they're not an unnecessary addiction, they're a necessary addiction, because unfortunately solar and wind aren't going to come along quickly enough. Say, look at Shell as a recent example, the Shell Oil Company. They have an explicit policy on their website that Shell's goal as a company is to reduce CO2 emissions to zero. There's an oil company. And you know, they do these little skits online about how they're going to power things by footsteps, and they just built this soccer field that is allegedly powered by footsteps. I wrote an article about that, and I calculated that it's at minimum 147 times more expensive than natural gas, their footstep solution. But this is the view that, hey, and then they're at the same time saying, hey, let us drill in the Arctic, right? But we can't, unfortunately, we can't get rid of it all now. Yes, we want our industry to expire, but unfortunately, we disagree with the environmentalists about the expiration date. But this is a view, and Derek, I forget what was your adjective? Gooey, mucky?
Just icky.
Icky. Sorry, these are technical terms. So there's something wrong. So there's unnecessary evil, necessary evil, and if you hear necessary evil, think about a lot of stuff you'll hear even from the right has at least a tinge of that. Especially anytime someone says, well, we're going to move, like, yes, of course we want to move to solar and wind as soon as we can, et cetera, et cetera. And my view is different. So I don't believe in unnecessary evil or necessary evil. I believe in the third, which is superior good. So superior good. And superior good just means it's like anything else. It's like, like this. It's just saying, I buy this, I use this, because it's the best thing available to me.
All right, guys, Dr. YouTube again. I just wanted to end this by saying he's right, okay? You see, God didn't make this world where we could ruin it, guys. All right? He made it for us to enjoy this world, guys. Not to work for other men. Nothing like that. They throw evil in there and different words and a lot of the different news. But it's all a shell game, guys. It's all about money. Like he was saying, there's lesser evil. Even the oil guys will say, well, the oil's not good. But we have to use it, God made everything in this world for us to use. Free. If we wanted the oil, we should get it free. You know what I mean? But greed is in there. It's all in there, from the environmentalists to the people that want to burn more fuel. You know what I mean? God made this earth perfect. If he can have it spinning at a certain rate or revolving on a flat, it just depends on how you see it. But what I'm saying, the mechanisms which this clock runs has set into it our oil usage. I hope that explains part, I don't know. But also you can see through history how humanity has forced its hand. The pharaohs, during the flood, you know what I mean? Man got too big and ungodly, or godless, we'll say. They have no thoughts of other people and how the bigger picture is instead of the smaller picture. These global, the ones that take this world and use and abuse the 9-to-5 people are the ones that are in the wrong. Anyways, guys, that's my blog on natural fuel. We fuel and oil. God made this place for us to live. We're not going to run out of blood. We're not going to run out of oil. Thanks, guys. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. Later.